EGM Network.
Treasure Coast Connector. Connecting residents and businesses of the Treasure Coast. And here's your host, Helen Contreras.
Welcome to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Helen Contreras. Treasure Coast Connector is the talk show and online community where we put a spotlight on interesting local businesses and resources, then connect them to you, the consumers in the community. Everyone has an interesting story of why they do what they do. When we learn about what's happening in our own backyard and support local businesses, it strengthens our local economy. For details on the show, links to discounts, promos, past interviews, check out tcconnector.com. Now, crafting a compelling story that leaves people with the feeling of tell me more, that should be the goal of every business owner when it comes to, putting together messaging for their website, social media, newsletters, email, sales communications, and more. There is nothing worse than looking at your computer monitor and it's blank with that blinking cursor and you're not sure what to write. Joining me in the studio today is someone that's going to take care of that for you. Helen Penland is the owner of HLP Quality Media. She offers writing services and she will help you get your idea out to the masses because she has an endless reservoir of ideas. She's got a lot of great information to share. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
This is going to be fun.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when I met you a while ago. And as you know, I have enjoyed writing for myself for the work that I do as a marketing person, right?
Right.
But most people, they are talented as plumbers and interior designers and dentists. They're not writers, and I'm not educated in this field, but this is your specialty. This is where you got your education for. And before we talk about it, I would love to hear why you wanted to start your company to help businesses amp up their revenue.
Because it's really needed. Plain and simple. They are absolutely floundering out there. They're using AI. They're putting out bad copy. They're using text that they write themselves. Sometimes people even write like they text.
Yes, they do.
And it's really needed. So, after years in the field, and I decided to start my own business.
Well, that's wonderful. And throughout my years of networking, I meet people and I want to learn about them. So I check out their social media. I go to their website and, I have seen content, right, Cindy? And it just makes me, it's cringy.
Cringe. Yes.
Very, very cringy. And then for some people, that will make them decide, I don't think I want to work with this person.
Right.
And you might never know that. Okay, so now, and like I said, business owners, regardless of who they are very talented in what they do. Okay, so what should they do? Okay, they need to get good messaging out there. They want their phones to ring, their emails to fill up with inquiries. They want leads to turn into sales. Okay.
Right.
So now they're thinking, all right, the smart business owners are saying, I'm getting ready to engage with someone to help me. Before they even call you, what should they do to prepare themselves?
Well, the first and foremost, what makes them different from their competition? That's number one. Think about everything that you do that other people don't. I know companies that I've used for my own personal use that have fabulous customer service. And I will call them back when I need them. I've had more than one of the same industry that have fabulous customer service, but maybe the representative that they sent wasn't somebody that was actually engaging with me to hear my problem. Just wanted to get the job done and get out. So the second thing I would do is write everything down. Sticky notes, Post-its, on your computer, on your iPhone, on your cell phone, on just notes everywhere.
Or even
Put them
voice to
everywhere.
text. Whatever you're
Voice to
thinking,
text.
just get it out on paper.
Get it out there while you have it in your head.
Yeah.
And when you get ready to put notes together, you may repeat yourself a half a dozen times. That's okay. You may say it differently a few times too. And you may need that and need to reference that in the future. So make sure you write everything down that makes you different or makes you special in any way. Anything you want that you want to convey to the public.
Yeah.
All the details, all the details, 24/7 service, great customer service, your hours, even if it isn't 24/7.
Yeah.
Everything.
Area of coverage for your business.
Right. Tri-county, one county, remote. I've seen computer companies that offer, and there are a few that I know here in Vero that offer remote help.
Yeah, that's really nice. Even if you're in Vero and they're in Vero, but they can just remote into.
This time it saves in driving, the time it saves in money, that takes away from that driving takes the time it takes.
Yeah.
And you could be spending it doing other things that are more productive and revenue producing.
Yep. Very true. Yeah. Bill O'Donnell, ATI. He's my IT person that I've been using. I've met him years ago from networking, which is why I love networking so much. And he's down in Tradition. So there's been plenty of times where, he's done a remote in. So that's a really good thing.
Right.
So now we're going to talk about your services like in the second half. But you know what's really popular right now that's helping business owners build their business and get speaking opportunities is publishing a book.
Yes.
And that is something that you help them with is a printed book or an ebook. So what I'd like to know is, what have you seen from your clients? What has been some of the success stories? And tell us more about this service that you offer.
I'll tell you, what I've seen is people that jump the gun and publish a book without having it proofed. Sad. And then they fail. They may have had a small pocket of money set aside to publish. And they may self-publish or they had to self-publish actually.
Okay.
Because a publisher wouldn't print it if it hadn't been proofread.
Right.
And then they spend all their money on the first issue, the first printing, and it's a flop because people are like, this is not acceptable. I can't read it. They put it down after the first 2 pages.
Oh, yeah.
So that's number one. But number two, lack of organization. It needs to be organized. I don't care if it's by year, by chronologically, or by situation, or if it's by storytelling or situational. It has to be organized, and it needs to be stated out very clearly in the contents. Because if it's not, it's going to get put down.
Yep.
There are times that I see books that are really great reads. And what makes them a great read is that you can go, there's storytelling type books, and it could be anything. I don't like fiction as much as I like nonfiction.
Okay. Mhm.
And I'll go and I'll see a nonfiction book that's in storytelling type chapters, and I can jump to any chapter and find and have a good read without having to read the entire
From front
book
to
from
back.
front to
Yeah.
back.
Okay.
Right.
That's interesting. I'm glad you used the word storytelling
Mm-hmm.
because that is also what you do, whether it is a newsletter,
Mhm.
whether it is a website. You are crafting messages that tell stories because actually that's what gets people and it gets them engaged
Yeah.
and it keeps them on your website longer.
Right.
Okay. Which then maybe prompts them for the next step of a call or whatever it is, you
Right.
know, that you're trying to get your prospects to do. And then the newsletters, when they are
Oh, yes.
engaging, whether it is once a week, once a quarter, people will see their open rates, their click rates, everything dramatically
Their
increases
ROI
in their
Mhm.
analytics. Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
long run.
Mhm.
That's true. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's okay. But that's what you as a writer,
Mhm.
you know, can do. And we're going to talk about AI in the second half. Do you know what Cindy's going to make us do? I know you were going to go for that piece of paper, but we have to take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
But however, before we do, what is your website? I want people to, in the first half, know about that.
Very simple.
Mhm.
HLPwords.com.
Very good. So
Plural.
HLP. So Helen
Penland.
Penland. So HLP Words, WORDS
Yes.
.com. And we're going to be right back with more. We're going to talk about AI next. So stay tuned.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait for that.
Hey, you! Host your very own show every week at Evergreen Media Network in Vero Beach. Go live to YouTube and Facebook with up to 4 people and your very own producer. Be heard on more than 15 podcast platforms and local radio. All you have to do is show up and talk. Your guests can join from anywhere in the world. It's easy to get started with the largest podcast studio on the Treasure Coast. Contact Evergreen Media to tour the studio.
It's hurricane season. Prune your trees now with Scott Tree Services. Strengthen your trees against high winds and remove broken limbs that could cause damage. Don't get nervous. Call Scott Tree Services. Sturgis Lumber is the county's most trusted hardware store. Sturgis stocks stainless steel products, power tools, construction and painting supplies, propane, plumbing, and electrical parts. 4645 US 1 Vero Beach. Sturgis Lumber and Hardware.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats and chairs in all the latest styles and colors from Tommy Bahama, Lexington, Hooker, Riverside, Universal, Four Seasons, Braxton Color, and Capri. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have hundreds of styles of any patio furniture you need, including a gallery of Berlin Gardens and Bollywood. We specialize in fire pits, outdoor rugs, umbrellas, and replacement cushions. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Family owned and operated since 1991. Don't forget to visit our outlet store directly across the street, filled with lots of name brand closeouts and sale items. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Ooh, have a sunshine day. Sunshine.
Welcome back to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm Ellen Contreras, your host, and I've been chatting with Helen Penland of HLP HLP
Quality Media.
Yeah, HLP Quality Media, but I was going to do your website, hlpwords.com. Okay, so we were talking a little bit about storytelling in the first half, right? And then during the break, we were talking about the fact that, and we're going to talk about AI because it has its place. There's some good points, not so good points, but there is something very important that you said. It doesn't have what?
An emotional
quotient.
Quotient.
It doesn't have EQ.
Right, EQ.
It
doesn't have
really
that.
doesn't. It
And
can
it's
try
very
to mimic it.
disappointing for, well, let's put it this way. It's so lacking in EQ
Mm-hmm.
that a good professor can tell when a student used it to write
Yeah.
a term paper
Mhm.
or an essay.
Yeah.
And I can spot it in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very interesting. So yes, so that's what I would like for you to do is tell us what your thoughts are about AI. Where does it have its place? Where doesn't it?
It has its place as a start-off point, as a jumping
Mhm.
point
Okay.
for, you might say, prompt the AI to say, give me some suggestions on bicycle riding and good brands.
Okay.
And it may give you some ideas on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could go right from there.
Mhm.
But because it has no EQ,
Mm-hmm.
it's very, very impersonal.
Yeah.
And I really like editing AI
Okay.
text
Sure.
that people give me. They're like, what do you think of this?
Mm-hmm.
And they're very proud.
Yeah.
And I read it and I'm like, well, there's no personal touch.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I can give it that.
It's very true because you get to know your clients.
Yes.
So why did they start their business? What are their goals? Again, like what you said in the first
Mhm.
half, what makes them shine? You know, what do they do better than anybody else? And all
Right.
of that. So when you're having that consult
Mhm.
and then you get their notes from them and then whatever the project is, and again, they might have said, oh, I have some content that I had AI help me with for my website.
Okay.
But ideally, what you're doing, what your specialty is crafting compelling messages.
Right. From scratch.
Yeah.
From scratch. And I like asking the questions. I like getting to know the company. Like getting to know the people. All the details of the business
Mhm.
that they want to make shine.
Yeah.
And if they're local or close enough that I can go visit, I like to make a visit and see their shops, see their
Mhm.
products,
Mhm.
meet their people in person.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that AI just can't do.
Yeah.
There is no personal touch.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, AI is, it doesn't understand nuances.
Very true. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't understand nuances. It's written by people who are hired to give scripted
Details.
and text.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there is no massaging of the message.
Right. Yeah.
No massaging of the message at all.
Mm-hmm. So if somebody actually does have, let's say they did their website, they wrote their content, they're looking at their analytics, you know, and they're like, oh, they're bouncing off my site too quickly. I'm not
Yeah.
getting the phone calls, email inquiries.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, all right. And that's something that you said in the break,
Right.
that when you actually edit the AI,
Yes.
they come back with, your clients are like, oh my goodness.
Well, it has empathy. It has emotion. It talks it speaks as if the owner or the customer service rep
Mm,
intends it to be.
Yeah.
And you have no, I'm not going to say exactly because it changes all the time. 3 to 5 seconds to get somebody's attention on a website.
oof.
That's it.
Wow. Yeah.
Or in a book.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not very long.
Yeah. That is true.
So if your copy does not get their attention in that length of time,
Mhm.
they're like moving on. They're
With
bounce back.
a book for me, whether it's
Uh-huh.
fiction or nonfiction,
Mhm.
sometimes within the first few sentences of the book on the first page, it's almost like invisible hands have come out of the book and have held on to me. And then I have every intention of going to bed at 11. I might have started the book at 9. And the next thing I know, it's 1 in the morning.
1 in the morning. Yep.
That's the sign of a very good book. So what I'd like to do is I'd like for you now to just go over the list of services, because there's a lot that you offer, and I want people to understand all the different ways that you help.
I do writing from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with asking the right questions and making sure that the client's comfortable with me doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I do editing of copy that they already have or copy that's existing on their website.
Okay.
Something that they may have written that they're not sure they want to use.
Mm-hmm.
You can't copy edit without proofing,
right?
Which is absolutely essential.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure that your expiration dates are there, that this is in marketing specifically, that details aren't missing, that you have the proper spelling, like there, and there.
Oh, yes.
Which drives me crazy. And I know executives that still do that.
Mm.
You want to make sure your syntax is correct, punctuation is correct, and that you're giving it the right voice for the client.
Mm-hmm.
And every client is different. It can't be my voice. It has to be the client's voice. But like I said, it all starts with the right questions.
Well, very good. And it's websites, it's articles,
newsletters, brochures,
mm-hmm.
absolutely. Any marketing, any print material or web material that you want to post. I work on that. I don't write social media, but I can edit it. I did that quite a bit when I was down in South Florida.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are a lot of mistakes in social media postings that for businesses, which I was shocked at really when I first started doing it.
Yeah.
But also I want to bring up one new demographic that seems to have been forgotten, actually.
Okay.
New graduates.
Oh, please, share that.
There was recently a study, I believe it was done, I'm not sure, by one of the Ivy League schools done, that they are skeptical of hiring Gen Zers. And one of the biggest reasons in the top 3 was their lack of communication skill. Writing and talking. They text. They think that's the way they should talk, or that's the way they should write. And they'll throw in a U instead of a Y-O-U. And that's a big turnoff. And there are a lot of big companies that are looking to hire that can't and won't hire Gen Zers because they refuse, because they weren't taught.
Yeah, there's a handful of them that have figured that out.
Yes.
And they are shining stars.
You got it.
They are amazing.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I do understand that. We have to get going. I can't believe this is not fair. Okay. So when people go to your website, it's an opportunity for them to go to hlpwords.com. They see the services. There's a way for them to sign up to get an appointment with you. Yep. Okay, very good. You work with people locally, all over the place.
Remotely,
with Zoom
anywhere, really.
So that's a really good thing. So with like 30 seconds, what else would you like to just say to wrap up?
Oh, my heavens.
I
love writings. I love writing. I love communication. I love proper communication. And I love to see people improve.
And you love to see them win in business. And with
Absolutely.
that, thank you, Helen. And thank you for everyone listening and watching. My name is Ellen Contreras, host of Treasure Coast Connector. Until next week, I miss you already.